you don't understand restoration, you damn fool. The people that dumped that shit on Father was not God. It was the failures of us, our ancestors, Christianity, and religion. Let's get real here. It ain't God that dumped on Father. It was fallen mankind and Satan. And he right now is doing the same bullshit.
Good spiritual.
Yeah, we're back. Answered the doorbell, whatever, and
had a little food.
Yeah, took care of the dead meat.
Mm. Pork chops, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the pork chop right there now.
So anyway, you know, we're gonna move on, and here we go.
All right. See what.
And some of you people may be disappointed that Father wasn't able to wave his magic wand and suddenly the kingdom of God is here and everybody is bowing down to true parents all over the world, the billions of people. But that's never how things work in reality. And divine principle, if anything...
Talking about Father waving his magic wand, not exactly, but Father set everything up that people would be bowing to true parents. I don't know if people realize prior to Father's ascension to spirit world, Kuchanim and Hyunjanim had already been placed in overall control of the physical side of the movement and the spiritual side. They were running things. Now they reported to Father regularly. They didn't hide anything. They weren't off on their own tangents. But they were doing that. But I don't know if people realize Kuchin was speaking to the military in Korea, on the military bases, to hundreds, to thousands of people at a time, about Father and the principle. Hyunjanim was speaking more and more to larger and larger groups.
That's true. Yeah, Kuchanim had been doing events that had sitting generals in the Korean generals, military.
Well, not just there, but the government. They were known as the Moon Brothers, and they were invited to the highest levels of the Korean government.
I mean, each of us should have our own foundation like Kuchanim.
Right.
Where you're running your thing, you're attracting like-minded people, you're dealing with like-minded people. And for Kuchanim, you know, the whole self-defense world, that's his tribe. That's the way I'm looking at it. And it's like he was bringing people closer to Father's thought system. And then when people appreciate Father's thought system, they say, who came up with this? And then boom, now you're talking about true parents, right?
Right. My point being is right up to the time of Father's ascension, this was going on.
Right.
The point is, if Mother would have just supported what Father had already put in place.
What he endorsed.
What he said is what he wanted.
Right.
The brother is in charge. And if she had recognized Hyunjin as the heir and the very body of true parents, in other words, if she would have bowed to the lineage, would have gone on. The thing is we would have had not a magic wand, but we would have had
external acceptance of parents
in all of Korea, from our highest levels down, politically, socially, and economically. And anybody can go check this for themselves. They were on the cover and articles in the business magazines, the defense magazines, the political magazines, and the doors were open to them.
You have to realize, if you're anybody, okay, I'm not talking to you who were afraid to get out of the church and go and do your own thing, okay? I'm talking to you who went out, you tried something. Anybody who goes and tries to reach out to their tribe probably knows that there's somebody in the church system. It's a systemic problem where we're jealous of one another. We're as blacks in America would say, we're like crabs in the barrel. You're not going to get ahead if it's going to make you look like Abel and me look like Cain. So we don't help each other. And you know, there's tons of people that I know in the movement who, when they said, you know, I'm going to do this tribal thing, and the minute they step out and start doing something, somebody tries to talk about what they're doing wrong or how they're not offering it to Abel properly. Or, you know, take Panzer for example. Kwok wanted him to say that free teens was the church's idea or a project of the church. And Panzer was like, no, it's not. It's my idea. It's my idea. It's based on my relationship with Father, but it's mine. And, you know, they try to, you know, make sure that they'll only endorse you and move forward if they can appear to be the head above what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And so that means this is a Cain-Abel struggle. And a lot of times the Abel figure was the person with the genuine, you know, emotional thrust in them, pushing them to do something different and new and fresh and according to the spirit of their tribal messiahship, you know. And the Cain was the church leader or the old mindset that, you know, and Father didn't get recognized because of that. We are our own worst enemy in the church, and that's why the church has to freaking die. The church has to come to an end because it hates itself ultimately. And if you don't get that, you can spend the next few years, but people in Sanctuary are not struggling with that anymore. If you're still struggling with that, that's fine. But the church will not go anywhere because ultimately it is offended by its own members' success.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
But Mother had to, really all Mother had to do was what Father asked. And he already put in place. Keep him as the head and the leader. Honor and support the very body. What's the Korean word?
Taeshinja.
Taeshinja of true parents here on earth. She didn't have to prove a damn thing.
Mother didn't have to prove anything.
Nope.
Mother had
and that's
nothing
my
to
point.
prove.
All you that claim that she's made the victory, yeah, okay. So why in the hell, and it is hell, that you want her to prove and do something that she was never required to do?
You know, Jesus was challenged to prove himself when he didn't have to prove himself. Satan came to him and said, if you are the Son of God, turn this stone to bread. Now, if Jesus accepted the burden, the premise, he would have went and turned that stone to bread and Satan would be the subject. But Jesus says, I know who I am. I don't have to prove. My Father has affirmed me. So all you people saying, Mother, you've been in the background and you have to show everybody. You know what'll be really strong thing for you to do? Put your hands on what Father said not to put your hands on and tinker with it, and that will show that you had equal power with him. And she's up there going, you know what?
Yeah, you want to show that she has
You're
a set of
right.
balls too, huh?
Yeah, 4 balls in the true parenthood, right? There's 4 sets, there's 4 testicles. Yeah. You know, I mean, she didn't have to prove anything. I mean, Father doesn't have a womb. Father didn't give birth to true children. He didn't set the condition of doing that. Mother did that. You know, and the truth is, you know, you can't undo the fact that Mother was victorious in giving birth. And Hyungjanim says this. I never heard it put this way, but he says Mother successfully gave birth to the 12 tribes. Do you understand that? If you really hear that, that means that she played out her part in restoration. You know what I'm saying? And without that, we cannot stand as viable life forms. Nobody's disputing that. And if anybody tells you that we in Sanctuary do not respect Mother at all, you know, that we're stupid people who don't understand the foundation of our own life, you don't know, they don't know. No, you know, we need Mother and Father. That is clear. But we need a mother who respects the lineage. Okay? That's it. We don't just need somebody who gave birth to us in order to take us to the kingdom of heaven. She has to respect that the goal of God ultimately is lineage. Okay, it's not a couple. So the manifestation of true parents is one thing. The fact that you have children makes you parents, yes. But what makes them true parents is ultimately sealed when the four position foundation, when the child can be raised up as mature fruit. So Cain and Abel, they united. They showed that there's no satanic nature there, and that's a jewel in the crown of true parents. And mother could sit knowing that. So all you people who don't have faith, who have these feminist concepts, who poison her with this idea that she has other things to prove and other things to do,
Yep.
you dirtbags really effed up the whole ending part of the providence. Okay, you don't know what you're talking about. You should shut up. I don't care how much money you have. You don't know. The woman didn't have anything to do except to say, my husband's the Messiah. He guided me. His tradition is this, and we're going to move forward. She has to be his number one best object, not doing something to undo him in order to prove her might by overriding him.
Yep.
And that's a feminist stupidity.
Let me chime in here. If Father many a time said all problems go back to the fall in the garden. And let's be honest about this. You can pick it up, read it for yourself. Lucifer knows God's commandment and the mechanics of God's ideal as well as anyone. Actually, very well. But how does he entice the woman, Eve? By suggesting to her that she truly doesn't know God's word. Look at it. He asked Eve, what is God's commandment? And she tells Lucifer. But then Lucifer snares her with this.
You will not surely die.
Oh, but you won't die. Instead, you'll be like God. And look at the whole premise Andrew Wilson has set up in the first 3-4 minutes. Mother has to be like Father.
Yeah, she has to be like Father, and she also has to prove herself.
She has to be
We
like
don't know
God.
her yet. So we have
And
to...
if you do this, you're not going to die. A matter of fact, you're going to become greater if you do this.
Yeah, you have to be
This
prominent.
is nothing new. This is the oldest of all lies. This is the ancient serpent, the great dragon, and unfortunately, people like Andrew and those around Mother have been peddling and selling this bullshit, and that's what it is, for decades.
Jesus said, the meek shall inherit the earth. And Father said that when Mother perfects herself, they will go back down to the original position and show humanity how to serve. So Father's aiming at a humble position. He's not aiming at the high place. He's aiming at being down here regular with us, okay? Showing us how to do this, quote unquote, down here. He's not at the top of some pyramid, okay? So the idea that the archangel is telling Mother that she has to show and prove herself,
Be God. Be like God.
be prominent, high profile, right? Which is the opposite of meek, right? She has to be high profile in some way. She's got to win some kind of a notoriety, right? Anyway, let's continue here.
Yeah.
Taught us that God's kingdom unfolds like a mustard seed, step by step by step. So we have to appreciate how far we've come. And these 5 points that true parents accomplished.
See,
True
here again
Father
he's
could
being
not
intellectually
accomplish without.
dishonest. Okay, very quick. There he's correct in what he writes, says true Father.
Mm-hmm.
He starts off saying that Mother's mission is also this. I pointed out that's intellectually dishonest. Now he's using true parents in a collective sense together, that this is their mission.
Okay.
That's all bullshit. Let's just be clear about this. He's trying to be an illusionist and intellectually dishonest.
Okay, so what you're saying is that father and mother have distinct roles?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
And what he's doing is intentionally convoluting them or converging them to make the reality of this very clear,
Conflating them.
yeah, conflating them, bringing them together,
Making
but
them one.
obfuscating the real truth, that what father's responsibility is not mother's responsibility,
Right.
and what mother's responsibility is not father's.
Right.
This actually goes to the point when father says, without mother, there is no true parents.
That's true. I mean, why would you say that? Why would you even
If
call
their
them-
responsibilities are the same,
Right.
then why do you need two of them?
Yeah, why would you say that there's an era of women, right? If their roles were all the same anyway, right? So that shows that there's a woman's responsibility. If you say this era of women,
Right,
I think people don't even understand what that means. Era of women.
Right, but not
Right.
even that. But the point is the fact that God trusts men and women with different responsibilities actually shows what deep, fundamental respect he has for each of his innate characters and aspects. God doesn't expect us to do the same thing.
The unlikely thing.
God actually respects women to be real women.
You look at it like this.
He doesn't want them to be men.
You have to fight, ladies. You have to fight Satan your way.
Yes, you do.
Man had to fight Satan his way. You know, Father went to the spirit world victorious. He said after the era of his betrothed. So, you know, I'm gonna put that on the screen in a minute. After the era of his betrothed, he had to do what he had to do, and he did it. And he offered it to God, that he did not follow the mistake of Adam. So he has something on his plate that he has to negotiate from a male perspective, and the woman has something different. The way the archangel talks to the woman is completely different from the way the archangel talks to the man. So when we're talking about the era of woman, we are not talking about woman's prestige. That is Satan. Satan says that the era of woman is woman's prestige. No, you have to figure out how to navigate what Satan is saying to you as a woman. And he's not saying the same thing to you that he's saying to Adam in the same way, because we're different, fundamentally different psychological beings, you know. So it's not a bed of roses. It doesn't mean you're going to be lifted up. Angel woman doesn't mean you're going to be lifted up just because you have an hourglass figure. You're going to be lifted up because you fulfill your responsibility to dispatch Satan.
Yes.
You know? Because guys cannot do your responsibility for you, sisters.
And vice versa.
You know, and you have to figure out how to be in a situation that Eve was in and best that archangel. You have to beat that archangel in that moment. And, you know, if the archangel is peddling prestige, high profile, being equal to a man, right? You're getting sucked in if you're believing that. You know, really the humble role for Eve was being like, hey, I don't know. I mean, the archangel would look at you like you an idiot because you say, hey, I don't know. I'm going to ask my dad. Oh, wow, you really don't look like the mistress of the cosmos if you got to go ask somebody. Well, hey, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to tell you. I know I got my opinions. You don't like my opinions, but, you know, God's in control. She's got the win by doing that. And if she thinks that she's got to impress him or get the approval from him, from the archangel, bam, she's toast. She's toast.